Hi, so my name is Alethea. I'm 42 years of age and I'm from Australia, and I'm currently living with stage 4 breast cancer. I found out about Verita through my friend Robin, who's actually also been a patient here. We both share the same integrative doctor in Australia, and we were in the IV room together, and she told me about Verita, and I went home and I did my research, and then I popped onto the website and signed up for wanting to have a consult, and I was very quickly contacted by the team here, and I had a Zoom call with Dr. Hassami, and just from that initial chat I just felt it was the right place to come. I'd done a lot of research before I'd come here, read some books, and his approach aligned with what I believed was the best way to try and help target my cancer that I'm living with. So yeah, so that's how I ended up here. And I've been here now for 10 weeks, which was a little longer than I expected, but I think it's been worthwhile to stay that extra period of time. I've seen a lot more improvement, especially in the last 6 to 4 weeks. With my condition. I've received a really multifaceted treatment protocol that Dr. Hassami worked with me on, based on some blood tests that I provided him, and just what he felt was best for my cancer type. So I've done all the IVs, IV curcumin, vitamin C, resveratrol and quercetin, some herbs, plus the off-label pharmaceutical protocol, and metronomic and low-dose chemo during that time. As far as how I felt during treatment, I actually felt really well. You know, I was a little bit nervous when I was coming here, reading other people's stories and saying that they found it really tough, and so I wasn't quite sure how my body was going to respond when I was here to the treatment, but I've handled it really well. I've had a bit of nausea, a bit of tiredness, sometimes a bit of an upset tummy, but outside of that, I felt really good. I've had good energy. I've still been exercising pretty much every day while I've been here, which is awesome. Before I came here, I was bedridden for months with pain. I couldn't move on my own. I needed help. And that had slightly improved over a bit of time before I got here, but I was still having some discomfort, but now I have no pain. I'm completely pain-free, which is amazing. I can feel, I have tumors that I can actually feel externally, and they've shrunk. I can feel them shrinking since I've been here, so that's really positive. So I live on the Sunshine Coast, and I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer in 2020. And I went straight in within 2 weeks for a left mastectomy, and then I did radiation for 6 weeks, but I also had an integrative doctor that I worked with, so I did vitamin C, I did Chinese herbal medicine, I changed my diet radically, and took lots of supplements. And I was in remission up until June this year when I started getting the back pain, and then I found a lump on my head, and I thought, okay, there's something going on here. So I went to the doctor and found out very quickly that my cancer had come back, and quite aggressively. I've had a lot of opinions from my doctors thinking that maybe having COVID spiked that back in my body. So when I got my diagnosis in June, it was pretty horrific, because I have it all through my spine and my pelvis and my femurs, and also had tumours on my skull. So I was pretty devastated when I got that news. Took me a few weeks to pick myself back up off the ground, and then when I did, I just started to think about what I needed to do. I thought I needed to take this really seriously. I didn't feel like I'd get the treatment I needed in Australia. We're a little bit limited, a bit conservative as to what they'll do. And I knew I didn't want to do full dose chemotherapy. That was something I was really not keen on doing. And I'd read about doing low dose chemo was much better with the body if you could support it with, you know, various IVs and different treatments. And so I originally was looking to go to Mexico, but that just didn't. Once I went through that process, I was like, oh, this isn't for me. It just felt like a really blanket approach that wasn't kind of speaking to me. And so then when I found out about Verita, and then I spoke with Dr. Hassami, and he did low-dose chemo, and he did the off-label protocol that I was already interested in, and the IVs that I can't get at home. So it just seemed like a win-win situation to come here and start treatment. So I think I spoke with Dr. Hassami, and I booked my tickets 3 days later, and I got here 2.5 weeks after my first consult with him, and yeah, I knew that as soon as I walked in, this was the right place for me. So professional, the clinic is so professional. The nurses are amazing, they take such good care of you. And Dr. Hassami, he's so dedicated. You know, you just know that he has an amazing knowledge base, that he's so well researched, and that if the first thing doesn't work, he'll find the next thing that will. And I know he's so determined to see whoever walks in here walks out in a much better position. And so, yeah, I know that that's definitely where I am now. I'm in a much better position than I walked in here. I was very thin when I walked in here. I'd lost a lot of weight. So I've put weight back on being in here, which I think is a really great sign. And I know that when I get home, I've still got Dr. Hassami and the team supporting me to continue the journey, because I'm not completely better yet, but the aim is that, you know, within the next 12 months, hopefully I can maybe be clear. The first time I got diagnosed, I was shocked and I was really upset. I had a history of cancer in my family. My mother died of cancer, so it was something I was very fearful of. But once I had my surgery and my radiation and I'd done everything, and I felt like, oh, that's it, I'm done. I'm not going to get cancer again. I've beat this, on we go kind of thing. It was kind of the attitude I had. But I probably got a little bit comfortable towards the end and maybe wasn't as fastidious on how I was taking care of myself. So then when I got the second diagnosis, I kind of thought that was it. Like, what can they do for me? I'm stage 4. I know that doesn't look good. It probably means I'm going to die. I was miserable. But then I just had to re-find my faith, find my positive mind again, and think, okay, there are other options out there other than just conventional, where they're just going to probably tell me they'll give me time. And so, yeah, so once I discovered Verita, and yeah, that initial conversation with Dr. Hassami, you know, like I spoke about what I was already doing, and he was already telling me things that I needed to change, you know, prescriptions I was on. If I changed to this, that was better for me, and you know, telling me what other things I needed to be on specific for my cancer that I'd read about. But he was like, you know, you need to get onto this straight away. This is going to help. You've got bone mets, and this is going to work for that. And so I just felt such confidence that everything he said backed up the research that I'd done, and he was ahead of the game. He knew more than, you know, he was telling me things that my oncologist had done that weren't ideal for my cancer type straight away. And so I was like, okay, he knows more than my oncologist. I'm going to trust him. So that's why I just was like, that's it. I got off the phone call with him. I rang my family straight away and said, I've had this consult and this is where I'm going. This is where I've got to go. I've got to do this. I took my treatment protocol into my integrative doctor that Dr. Hassami gave me for her to go through it with me, and she just said, you need to go. All these things are going to be so beneficial for your body to, you know, to build your immune system, as well as being able to do the low dose chemo, because she said this was not a time for me to be a purist, and I had to think outside the square a little bit and look at chemo, but finding a way that felt right for me. And so, yeah, so I had the support of my integrative doctor. My family was completely in support of me doing this, and my dad has financially helped me through this journey, which has been great, so that I could do this. And funnily enough, here I found the vitamin C harder to handle. Like, I've done quite a bit of vitamin C at home. I was doing 60 milligrams, whereas Dr. Hassami's got me on 75 milligrams here. But from what I understand, it's a lot more pure here. And so I definitely have felt nauseous trying to do the vitamin C, but now I'm getting to week 10. It's not bothering me quite so much. Probably by about week 4, I think that's when I really felt like I was definitely turning a corner with how I felt. Definitely, like, my weight had stabilized at a higher level by that point. My energy was pretty good by then. Before that, my energy wasn't too bad, but I just have some days where I couldn't get out of bed on the weekend. I was just too tired. Whereas now I don't have that. I'm up and I'm ready to go every day. I'm the 7 o'clock girl here, so I'm in at 7 a.m. every morning, so I'm up early to come in for my local hypothermia. I've started, in the last 4 weeks, I've started full body hypothermia, and I was told that was a pretty intense thing to do. And it is. You do need to have a certain mental strength while you're doing it, but I feel the benefit is worthwhile. I always feel really fresh when I get out, like it's such an amazing detox, and I know that it's going to boost my immune system so well, and cancer doesn't thrive in a hot environment, so I know that it's kind of working both with my immune system and against the cancer at once. So that's been a really valuable thing to be able to do here. And yeah, I mean, definitely, you know, doing the curcumin and the quercetin and resveratrol there, I think they've really helped boost my immune system. I've been very lucky that my blood counts have been really positive most of the time through here. So I've been in a strong position to be able to do my chemo each week. So I think those treatments must help keep us in a state where our immune system can keep on coping with that treatment. And I haven't really felt any side effect from chemo. Sometimes a bit of an upset tummy, but outside of that, I felt really good, which is great, because I know that at home, if I'd done chemo, I would have felt sick and tired, and I would have lost my hair, and you know, so many bad side effects that I just haven't experienced at all. I've not lost my hair, and I don't have neuropathy in my fingers or my hands, which is amazing. You know, I haven't been vomiting. I haven't lost my appetite. I've eaten the whole way through, and the food here is honestly so amazing. The chefs just will bend backwards to provide your meals how you like it, and you know, they work out pretty quickly things that you do and don't like, and they really try and accommodate you. So that's an amazing thing to have that here and not have to think about what to eat. It's done for you. So yeah, in all, it's just been such a positive experience. And I thought 10 weeks here away from my kids and my husband was going to be really hard, and of course there's been moments of that, but I think because you're so well supported here, you know, Dr. Hasami is amazing. If he sees you crying, he's not scared of your tears. He comes right to you and he sits with you and he talks with you and tries to lift your spirits all the time. He's just got such an amazing bedside manner that, you know, no matter what the news is or no matter what day you're having, he always tries to help you feel positive again and lift you back up. And I think, you know, when you're a cancer patient, one of the most important things is your mind. You've got to have a strong mind. You've got to be positive. You're going to have bad days, and it's okay to cry, but you've got to keep on remembering what you're here for. You're wanting to live and striving towards that all the time. You know, like, our bodies are designed to win, and the team here are just trying to make that possible. What I would say to anybody that's in my position is have a consult with Dr. Hasami. Like, don't delay. Get on the computer, click that button and say I'm interested, because I don't think anyone would be able to have that conversation with him and not feel some level of confidence with what he can provide a cancer patient, and just get here as quick as possible. Don't delay. I have seen people here that have waited a really long time and they're walking in here in a much more difficult position. So I just think as soon as you know that you know whatever stage you are, don't be complacent. Don't sit back and think, oh, let's just wait and see. If you think that you don't want to do treatment in Australia and you want to try something else, then this is where you need to be, and you just need to figure a way to make that happen and get here. And I don't think anyone would be disappointed with the experience here. So yeah, as far as what I think I've learnt, I think having this time to myself away from my children has helped me to really kind of look into myself a little bit more. And I think the thing that has been the biggest lesson for me while I've been here is be me, be authentically me. Stop trying to please other people, stop trying to do other things that I think other people want me to do. Now's the time to really be me. That's what I'm learning through this journey. So I'm really just trying to hone into that and think about what it is that I need to do to honour myself and my journey and help myself get better.